Everybody to this talk. I'm not going to talk a lot about Plone, but I hope that I can bring some useful information. Just for me, it's a good excuse to come here, no? And I hope that you are enjoying the subject, because it's a super hot topic, so I understand that you will enjoy. So, first of all, I'm Ramon Navarro Bosch. I spent my last 15 years building companies, tech companies, and I like a lot to do that. I also prefer to develop, but well, it looks like somebody needs to run a business, so it's my turn. I built a long time ago Iskra.cat with Audal. There are now the CTOs of Iskra here, and it's really well managed. I also founded on a long time ago, and recently Nucleo.com, and I'm founder at CTO there. The subject of the talk is about search, because search has been my passion, my main subject. Every day when I wake up, I try to search things in my house because I'm not able to find them. So search, it's been really, really important. And at the end, when you're going to a website, the main thing you're going to do most of the time is going to search something, get information. So, and when you're reading a book and whatever, no? When I'm talking with my kid, I want to know what's her problem. I'm searching what's her problem. No? So search is everywhere, and AI is everywhere now. No? So you know, like AI is the new LangChain, so the blockchain, sorry. So this topic, it's really hot. Everybody knows ChatGPT. So I'm going to talk a lot of things related with this area. And building this technology from Barcelona, it's a big challenge. So I hope that everything that I'm going to explain helps you. And in order to explain the evolution, any evolution starts with the past. No? So, how was search yesterday? And sorry for the companies related with the pages I'm going to show. I know it's nowadays web pages that I'm going to show, but it's, for me, the search from yesterday, the search experiences that I'm showing now. So here we have three examples of web pages that are served. Some of them with Plone. Well, UPC has Plone behind, but this is not the Plone search experience. All these search experiences, it's, okay, I have a text box. I go there. I write what I want to search. I normally search by keywords. I want to get a report from 2022 about environmental statement. It's easy. I write these keywords. I get the title. I get the document, and I download the document, or I click to go to see the document, and I read the document, and I try to get what I'm trying to get from the document. It's possible that I also want the document, just because I'm a collector. I just want to get documents and store on my laptop, but that's another use case. The second one, it's a web page. It's Volto, as far as I know also, and it also provides the availability of searching by keywords. And one of the good things about these searches is that they are faceted navigation, no? The standard faceted navigation, kind of being able to filter down and deciding the range of the search in order to narrow down the documents I really want to get. Or the relevancy. The relevancy, if anybody is not super deep on search, it's mostly based on BM25. It's an algorithm to be able to push up the documents that has more frequency of the words are searching by some kind of crazy algorithm that looks like it's the best in the world. So these two techniques are super amazing, and they provide a really good result on trying to find the title, the document, the text of these documents. There are some common of other techniques on yesterday's search that was the availability of doing a prediction of the next words you're going to type, no? Suggestion. I think that Solar supports autocomplete, that it's a way to okay, what's the next word that in some document appears close to this one? Because at the end, it looks like everybody has in their mind all the text that it's in any content that you have on your site. This is all yesterday's search. And what are the elements of this yesterday's search? No? As I said, facilitate navigation, the availability of filtering the content by some labels, so to narrow down, to make sure that the user is able to get what they are searching. Suggestion or fuzzy search, kind of typo tolerance search, make sure that there is maybe one word that is wrong, or try to suggest next words that are closed on the textual content of the documents. Relevance, BN25, and there are a lot of other ideas like this one. There is a really important thing is that which text are we using? Most of the websites nowadays, or yesterday, they were using the title and maybe a summary. And if you are lucky and it's an HTML page, all the text with ZOAP, transformers, HTML to text, or any kind of these crazy technologies that we have in Plone. Or maybe even, I remember that there was some PDF to text that it was able to extract, some Word to text, and that is able to extract some text of these documents. Well, it's just the text, maybe not the images, well, different kind of text that it's used to search. And field boosting. I'm sure that in all the Solar experts that we have here, they are boosting the title, then the description a bit less, and it's trying to understand which is the field that it's going to be more useful. Okay, all these techniques are useful for text plus filters, get a list of resources. And this is yesterday's search. This is what we've been using for search during the last years, and most of our websites, Plone sites I've seen, they use this kind of technology. But it's not this only for CMS use case or internet. It's also the same problem with product search or discovery, that in these cases, the most common technologies used there are collaborative filtering to enable to give proper recommendation, graph and related items, campaigns to boost this kind of subjects. I want that the user now finds mouses because it's what I need to sell, no? Et cetera, et cetera. And user tracking to be able to provide better prediction and recommendation. These are all the techniques that we've been facing on search since now. Okay, what is search today? No? This is the ecosystem that we have, but search today has changed a lot. And I'm going to explain what for Nuclea it's search today. I'm sure that there are different theses around, but this is our thesis. So search today for us is a bit something like that. No, I go to Google and I ask, where is happening Plone Conference 2023? And it answers directly the answer I want to get. No? And I can ask in Catalan, and I get also the answer in Catalan. Well, it's in Spanish, but it's good enough. The left side, it's Nuclea interface, the top one, and I will explain better later, but we have two knowledge boxes, is what we call our containers, that we pushed all Plone documentation and all the videos from all the Plone conference in the past to search information on that two buckets. But just now for the aim of explaining it, how to deploy Volto, and okay, I get some answer, and if I want to get the resources, I can open the drop-down and get the resources. But for example, if I go to ChatGPT and I ask, which Python versions are supported by Plone? ChatGPT answers that 5.2 supports Python 2.7, 3.6, 3.8, Plone 6 works, and drop Plone 2, blah, blah, blah. But as for example, in our case, we are using the documentation, it gets the latest information, no? In this case, which are the Python versions that are supported by Plone on the documentation. But this, for me, is search. I'm searching for a question, I want to know something, and I get an answer. I don't care if it's in a video, in a text, in whatever kind of thing that it's going to be stored. Sorry, I just like to play with these kind of things. So how we get to this scenario, how you're able to, which are the elements that are behind this feature. So as any search process, it's easy, no? You have the source of data. In this case, it's a Plone site with a lot of web pages or videos from YouTube, in the case of the conference. We extract any piece of information that is important, so we need to extract everything, because everything may be useful, the images, the text, the labels on the presentation, whatever we want. We need to index in not only with the BN25 that we are used to have on searchable text index field that we have today. We need to index in a lot of different ways, in knowledge graph relations, in semantic way with a vector database. We need to index in full text search. We need to index in fuzziness search. We need to index in a lot of different aspects to provide different experience at once. And at the end, we need to provide a search experience that is going to be able to query this information. So what is extraction? AI search extraction. So first, we need to get text. We need to get previews and thumbnails, because I know that everybody here has web pages, and what the user wants is to see the thumbnail of their document or their web page or wherever they are searching. No matter if it's a text file and you say to the client, okay, it's not possible to have a preview about the text file. No, I want a preview here, that it shows the figure of the text file. Okay, okay. Entities and relations, it's really important, because at the end, when for example, you are legal people and you have a document that talks about a company with a relation with an employee, and there is a lot of entities here, no? The company, the employee, maybe the address, some private information. It's really important to get all this information and the relations between this information on that extracted text. The labels. If you push a document that it's an NDA, you want that this document is designed, it's an NDA. I don't want to define this is an NDA, or this is a report, or this is. There needs to be really easy ways to automatically label this thing. I don't know if you try it, but if you push any kind of text to ChatGPT, for example, and you ask ChatGPT, what kind of this information it says, it's a report from blah, 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 blah. So we are already able to define domain-specific labels for most of the information that we have. Paragraphs and embeddings. So once we have all the text, it's clear that nobody wants all the text of a 300 pages report or something like that. They just want to have maybe one chapter, maybe one paragraph, maybe some information that it's there. So you need to be able to split that text in really proper blocks, we call knowledge blocks, that are able to be indexed and searchable and findable. Summary, because we are lazy, and this is one of the most frequently asked things, no, at Nuclear. Can you summarize everything that we have so we don't need to read it? So summarization is really, really important. And it's not that somebody needs to read a document and write it down. We already have nowadays systems that are able to understand full text documents that has hundreds of pages and summarize it in a bullet point or just a text thing. Metadata. This is mostly for nerds, but when you are willing to show the search results, you may want to show some information about that document, kind of when it was created, et cetera, et cetera. And anonymization. And I really like this one because we are in Europe, and in Europe, anonymization is super critical. Being able to push that in your system and making sure that no person of the people, anybody is going to be disclosed. And it's not only anonymization, it's not having asterisks everywhere. It's replacing the names of cities and persons and companies with created, invented names that are not able to be tracked down. So this provides full anonymization, so we are not able to track this information in case that your use case is with data that needs to be protected by GDPR. Okay, now we extracted all these crazy things. We converted all these knowledge boxes to vectors that define the semantic meaning with an embedding. It's time to index. And this is where we built a really nice database. Well, it's more a framework on top of a database that it's called NucleDB that runs on top of Postgres or on top of our of TAKB or even the local file system if you want to test it. That has implemented all these indexes I'm going to say. It's open source. You can download from NucleDB GitHub account, so Nucle and NucleDB. And it has implemented the full text. The full text, everybody knows it. It's easy. It's what Elasticsearch is, what Solr has been providing. It's what, I don't know, Okapi, how is the Zob one name? The BN25. Okiopi? I don't remember now. Okapi. Yeah, but there is one implementation for the Zob catalog that has BN25. It's, as I said, it's the most common. If you want, you still can have this information. So full text BN25 search of keywords that are on your document. As I said, the knowledge block, paragraph, also for friends. We also index them in typo-tolerant way, so we have maximum left and distance of 1 or 2 to be able to find if you are missing something, to have suggestion of paragraphs, but just at the paragraph level or knowledge block level. Sometimes it's bigger than a paragraph. Vector. Vector, it's this new technology, new from 2017, so it's really old nowadays. That it provides the availability of doing an embedding, that it's an array of numbers that represent semantically one sentence in a multilingual representation that provides, it's like the translation, so you get text and you get all the numbers, and from the numbers you know the meaning of that text that you are defining. This is, if anybody's interested on this subject, there is a lot of things that come since 2017, since attention is what you need was a big game changer on this research area, and nowadays is the base of ChatGPT at a long time ago. But nowadays we have full control of it, and it really works really well. We have really good semantic models that are that have been proven with Asian languages that we were super amazed about the results. In Latin languages works really well. We have really high state-of-the-art on being able to map semantically meanings from different languages on different sizes of text. And also the knowledge graph, the availability of, okay, all these entities, all the relations, connect everything and get it in the same place. Okay, so now we indexed all these things in these 4 indexes. We are able to provide multimodal search. It's a super cool name. So how we are going to do this thing on top of this index? First, we need to understand what the user wants. Because it's clear that you cannot search anything if the user is using different patterns at search time. There are old people like me that are doing keyword search. That I still do standard keyword search. Now I want to search for a keyword because I'm used to that. But there is a lot of employees at Nuclei that they are much, much younger than me, that they search by a sentence. They are more used to search by a sentence than me. And I'm really in a different way. So it's really important to understand what the user is willing to do. If, for example, I search which are the top 10 companies in Catalonia, it's important that the system is able to understand that Catalonia is a filter. I want that, please only show me the companies that are from Catalonia. So being able to detect that as a filter, it's detecting the intent of the user. So the first step on doing a proper search nowadays is to be able to detect which is the intent of the user at search time. Then we need to be able to map the user query to a vector. And this is related with the previous one. Because if I'm searching just a keyword, it's not a vector, it doesn't have a meaning. So what the system needs to do is create from the keywords, needs to create a sentence that it's able to understand what the user is looking for. If I search PloneConf 2023, I need to be able to understand if the user is searching for where is going to happen PloneConf 2023, or how can I get more information about PloneConf 2023. Or if I search PloneConf 2023, Victor Fernandez de Alba, I want to know the talks of Victor in the PloneConf. So I need to be able to expand this query. It's query expansion technologies that is able to expand this query. Then, with all these entities, we need to traverse all this graph of relations to get the entities and how are them connected. All this information gets onto filtering, that it's able to narrow down the same way that facilitated navigation was doing, up to the elements that the user may be interested. So we need to provide full filtering of labels, entities, time. So I want documents only from last year. I want to do this question on Plone Conference 2021. And ranking. Well, ranking is this relevance point of view, no? That sometimes it's related with the VM25. This is just when, and I'm going to talk later about the user-related ranking. But the problem of VM25 is that it only works with words, and as we were saying, we always are searching with vectors, which then it means that we need to provide a semantically score of all the sentences that are on this bucket with the one that the user is searching. In order to do that, we do a distance, a cosine distance, or a dot distance, or a Euclidean distance of the field of each text with embedding. This will be super costly and could never be done with a really good algorithm that provides a good data structure for doing this search. It's called, we're using HSNWB as the algorithm for implementing it. And the mixture of how we are doing the VM25 of the text and the HSNWB, it's a full research subject. We have a good guy here that is playing a lot with this kind of technologies, how to mix these two scores. And there is still not a good solution. So we are here trying different approaches to give always, even if it's semantic, even if it's full text, the best result ever. Once we have these results that have been ranked, filtered, queried, converted, extracted, blah, 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 we need to re-rank. Because now imagine that I'm just super fan of Victor. So I'm searching for Plone Conference. I want to get his talks first. So I need to get a re-ranking one on the results that are already done, are already selected. In order to do this, there are a lot of techniques nowadays. Learning to rank is a really old one, but nowadays, like JVM, it's a bit old. Cross-encoders are a bit the most state-of-the-art way of doing re-ranking. It's super costly. You require GPUs in order to do that in real time. But at the end, it's just the same kind of a strategy. Move all the text to vectors, compare to the query, and rank them based on the relation of the two vectors. With a model, just train it for this user, or this use case, or this specific ranking strategy. Okay, now we've been able to get all these knowledge blocks that has all the possible information that the user asked, that we process, we analyze it on the query, we filter it, we got them and we ranked them. So we have now 10 possible, 20 possible paragraphs that have the answer or have the information that the user is looking for. Now is where generative models comes into the game. Okay, now it's generative models, it's what ChatGPT is. It's super expensive, super big, super crazy model that it's able to answer a question given a query. But the generative models, normally they don't know about my content. So I need to give these paragraphs I found to the generative model and ask the question that the user was doing. So this technology is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, that it's mostly this use case, the availability of getting from the database. The second question, the first column, it's the old way of doing these things that was using something called a squat that was able to detect on the content where it was starting and when it was ending the answer that the user is looking for. But nowadays we have these generators, mostly ChatGPT, publicly, that it's retrieving from dense vectors, there's HSNWB and the BN25, all the knowledge, and then these chunks of data sent to the generative to answer with your data. So you get real information from your data that it's being generated by a generative model that gets some data from it. So this is the full picture. No? So the user does a query, we detect intent, we detect the labels, we compare to vectors, we detect the tokens, we filter, we search on the text and on the knowledge graph, on the vector. Once we get all the knowledge blocks, we rank them, we re-rank them, and we send to generative AI, and we answer the user. This is how search is today. And we try to define 4 different search experiences to try to group how this is being used. For us, search is the first one. It's the standard one, the one that you are more used to it, no? You are looking for a document. You are looking for a link. You are looking for a resource that have multiple knowledge blocks there. The second one, it's fine. In this case, you are looking for the piece of text specifically that has some kind of information. This is really useful for example, for lawyers, when they want to search for a specific clause in their documents or for product that they want to get just a specific piece of information. Ask is the one that it's being mostly used at Nuclea. It's, I send you all my information. I just want that you answer my question. I don't want to know where is it, or in which form is it. I just want to get the answer. And discover that it's the availability of navigation across all the entities, all the relation, and being able to discover new content that it's not yet discovered by the user. So in order to show this, I prepared 2 knowledge blocks, boxes. It's the concept of our containers. These are the 2 knowledge boxes. If you go there with your mobile phones, you will only see a JSON, but it's because this is an API. We are an API. We are not. We have some UI, but we are mostly an API. But these are the 2 knowledge boxes that contain all the videos from Plone conferences, past Plone conference, and the knowledge box that from the documentation of Plone. I think that was synced a long time ago. I don't know if we synced it recently. There is a new one. Okay. Okay. So Eric will tell you the new one. I just use this one for the purpose of showing this in a short demo. So I'm going to use these 2 knowledge boxes that are online on the cloud to show you some just simple examples about how these experiences work and trying to not run out of time. So in order to use it, you just need to install Nuclea, and you can register any of these knowledge boxes in your system to have them. I'm going to use the URL parameter to define at each call which knowledge box I'm using, as I'm using 2 for the state of the demo. And first, I'm going to show you, for example, the search experience, the standard one. I'm going to show a bit of JSON, so don't be afraid. That is going to do a search query, how to build a carousel, and then I'm going to do a search query, deploy Volto. not seeing anything. Well, as I don't know where is the other screen. Yeah, it's here. Yeah. Okay, so this is a standard search. I'm getting all the resources. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so this is a standard search. I'm getting all the resources, and I get the text of the summary of each resource. The query was... here's my keynote here. The query was how to build a carousel. Here. This is really small. It is really, I'm not scrolling upward. Okay, we'll see. So you will see that there is a site where we are saying the documents that may have some information and the tracks, for example, how we created and deployed our 200 websites at IMEO with no downtime, no? And they were talking about a carousel somewhere and developing a real-time Volto add-on at 2021. And all the paragraphs that had some information, even if it's semantic, it could be in different languages, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This was not the most, yeah, useful demo. Where is the other one? Yeah, here. The fine experience is the one that I'm searching to get the content of the, this I'm searching for how to build a carousel also, and I'm getting a document, a talk from Victor, Meet Quanta, and I'm not able to see it a lot. Sorry. Let me see if I'm able to, yeah, this one is easier. This document is create an impactful homepage that your editors will love. And some place like you saw, banners were done in one place. The carousel was done of the, well, it's a standard keyword search in this case, but it says both. It means that this sentence is similar to the meaning that we are looking for. In this case, it's only VN25, so it's because there is carousel marked there. And if you look, let me see if there is one that it's only vectors. Vector, this one, it's similar, but in meaning, not in, you see that the translation, sometimes it's a bit useful. So, the other one that I wanted to show, it's the Ask experience, that it's the best in terms of easy to see. So here in this case, I'm going to run ask you how to deploy Volto in Plone documentation. And it answers this, that's, I'm assuming is somewhere. I could get the sources if I want, but just to show the demo, I saw that it's better to just show the answer. But if I ask the same thing on the Plone conference, now it's going to be demo fake. I'm getting a better result. It looks like in the Plone conference, there was some talk that had their good slides about explaining this subject. So this is the kind of experience I was talking. Ooh, where is my cursor? Here. And the examples is going to be on the slides, so you can try yourself and investigate. It's better than just showing a large JSON payload and going through it. But at the end, the goal is to see the paragraphs that are semantically close to what you're searching, the paragraphs that are identical or has some keyword, VM25 match on top of that, then mixing all of them and being able to generate the answer at the end. The discovery experience, there is also an example here that if you run it, you will see that, for example, you're checking who lives in London. This knowledge box is not the Plone one, it's another one that we have public. It's for market research, where it will show you that there is relations about any company that lives in London, all the relations about people who are related into this company. So you could get the answer just from the knowledge graph. Okay. And going to the last slide, this is what for us is search today. What is going to be search? I was going to be saying the future, but given the speed that we are going, maybe it's going to be next week. So ChatGPT is not the only player anymore. We have Llama 2, Mistral, Anthropic, Palm 2, OpenAI with ChatGPT. It's appearing one every week, and they are super costly, super expensive to compute, these models. But they are each one has different features. They are trying to make some differences between them. We are using internally for our private on-premise deployment Mistral and Llama 2 as the base foundational models. But at the end, what's important is which one I should use. So we decided here that to allow the users to choose whatever they want and use their own keys, we don't care. Because at the end, each one has its positive things and bad things that needs to be understood. If anybody has interest in knowing them, I will be pleased to talk. Hallucination. Hallucination is the new big problem, no? The availability of relying on the answer, it's really, really, really difficult. For example, if I go to ChatGPT and I ask, who is Timo Stollenberg, it says he's a German chef and the owner of several restaurants in Portland, Oregon. So this is if I know we are laughing because we know Timo, but come on, if I'm a company, I don't know Timo, and I'm asking this thing, I cannot rely on this information because this is not true. So this is a big problem, hallucination. We are trying to fix with the retrieval augmented generation with the content because we are sending the paragraph and we ask the generative model, please do not answer anything that it's not on the content I'm sending you. Don't generate anything that I'm not saying to you. And we are really good at that. We have really good prompting to be able to make sure that it never gets out of the context. But still, it's really frustration having a billion model that you're asking, please do not answer anything that you know. Because if you try to see from yourself, it's kind of, okay, I'm asking this model that it costs billions, please do not use what you know to do. Just make sure that you're answering what I'm saying, that it's really short. So it's definitely not the way to go. Well, it's the way to go, but it needs one step more. That's fine-tuning. And fine-tuning, it's the technique that we have around, that once we have all the text that has been extracted from all the content that we have on our database, we send this text to the LLM to be retrained with our content. So we create an adapter. We love adapters. So it's really good for the Plone community that all the world is embracing this concept, no, of adapting a large language model. But it only has one interface. It's not 5 interfaces or something like that. It's just one. So it's going to adapt the LLM into your own LLM, adapting the weights of the model, with information that you really need for your prediction. So the best option is the fine-tuning plus retrieval augmented generation. The availability of not forcing the LLM just to answer what you're saying to him, but giving incentive to answer the information that you know that it's really good. And fine-tuning the LLM with your system. There is also the factual checking of information, that it's when you get the answer, analyze if the answer has the information that the user is asking, and it comes from any source of information. At the end, this is really, really hacky because it's an LLM inside an LLM answering if the response of the LLM is valid or not. So, but it works. It works really well. So at the end, the cycle will be extract everything, embed everything, store everything, define which task do you want to do with your data. For example, the V0 dev, this availability of generating React code based on some prompting. So you define which task do you want to do. You fine-tune with this task and the prompting that you want to work. For example, we are working with companies that they want to make sure that the generative answer fulfills their policy of how they answer things in the company. So they need to tune the mood of the LLM to be able to be really positive or any kind of decision that the company is deciding as a mood. Fine-tune the LLM with all this information, collect all the feed work, generate what we call synthetic questions and synthetic answers that the user may ask, and reinforce all the system, not with human reinforcement. We feel that it's not the proper way of going, but with automatically computational reinforcement. Fine-tune the generation of the semantic things, do the factual checking at any answer, and get all this information back to the database. And this cycle, if you go around this cycle 3 or 4 times, you are starting to have a really good large language model able to answer really good questions, a bit expensive, but really useful for really a lot of cases. So that's the future of search. The main key things is going to be fine-tuning the cultural and the mood and the tasks that the company is asking, availability of summarizing and grading documents, extract complex relations, and remove hallucinations. And that's all, folks. Questions?
I'm going to cheat because I actually have 2 questions. The first is, I imagine that this is more useful on a 500,000 document collection than it is on a 5-page document collection. Is there something like a minimum and an optimal document set to use this on?
It's a really good question, but depend on the size of the pages, no? If you have one page that it's 10 megabytes, maybe it's going to be useful, no? I would say that it's useful if you are willing to offer this experience to your users, no matter the size of your data. Well, for us, what matters is what experience do you want to deliver to your client or to your users.
Yeah, so to tie into that, like, in Quave, we use like personalized document collections, like every user has their own view on the document collection. You talked about tuning the LLM to the specific domain, in fact. We have a domain per user. Is that going to be like possible even in terms of cost?
Yeah, because this is where the retrieval augmented generation comes through, because the availability of filtering the documents that you're able to retrieve to embrace the generative AI, it's really filtering which kind of information is going to be generated from the documents.
Thank you.
I have lots of questions. I even wrote them down. So first and most important question, Did you mention Spanish and Catalan in the same sentence, and as if they were interchangeable? And remember,
I knew you were going to
this is recorded.
Yeah, I mentioned them because Google answered in Spanish a question I did in Catalan. And we already complained a lot of time to Google that they should embrace more Catalan on their answers. And I think that our government is pushing a lot of effort in making that a reality.
Very good answer. Now, one question regarding the machine learning algorithm and specifically the re-ranking. I'm a pretty old school person when it comes to search, you know that, right? And this is why you trolled me in that picture. So if you, in a traditional sense, you have like a collection of documents, you index them, and then you run the old school algorithms on that. And in a CMS, that collection of document changes often because every time someone changes a document, it changes, right? And I'm not sure if I fully understand machine learning. For me, it's still like just math algorithms like running on very powerful machines, that's it, but statistics at the end. And I understood that every single time you change something, you have to retrain your documents. And there are like ways of going around that, but in the end, in the CMS, you update your content, and the problem with ChatGPT, for instance, is that the content is outdated, right? But if you update, and ChatGPT is not able to update that frequently, right? You show that when it's from early 2022. So in the CMS, when you have like a smaller document, do you retrain your models every single time? I think that wouldn't make sense, and you might not have a sufficient amount of documents. But how do you update your content then if you add something and you want to search in the next second?
Okay, this is the, you are not listening to me, no? Sorry. the retrieval augmented generation technique, it's the technique behind the availability of sending the context onto the generated prompting. So Anthropic, for example, that it's one of the biggest LLM, has a window that it's able to get as context, I think I would say in characters, around 400,000 characters in one query. So imagine that you can send your content on the prompt that you're doing and asking to answer based on the content you are sending to the LLM.
So you send the entire content?
You send the content, the pieces of the content that may have the answer. That's why we have all this splitting of large content on knowledge blocks. That each knowledge blocks has enough information to be able to answer anything related with that area of domain-specific information. So at the end, the base technique of using LLMs on mutable data is the availability of getting the context, getting the pieces of information that may answer your question, and sending that pieces of information to the LLM at query time.
So you're saying that a CMS, I mean, users don't talk to APIs directly, right? So a CMS could do a traditional search, extract some information, send that to the machine learning API, and it would be able to answer the question properly and in real time if that piece of content contains the information that's needed.
That's the base technique. Okay. Here on top, the problem is that if the user is doing a question, the VN25 doesn't work really well because the question has a lot of words that are not keyword search. And then the VN25 starts to get, even if you apply the latest stop words and all these kind of technologies, what it really matters for you is to get the piece of content that has the answer. And this is why semantic engines are really important in this side, because it provides you the answer from the semantic perspective to the question, the piece of content that may answer, plus the VN25, plus all the information. Then all this information sent to the LLM, it's able to generate a good answer. Of course, as I said at the end, if you want that your company talks your language, your domain-specific language, if you are a lawyer, for example, or you are a super 700,000 company that they have a specific way of communication, no? You can fine-tune the model to learn to speak the language that the company is using, to learn to speak how to do things, how But at the end, the specific answer and the specific information needs to come from mutable data. And so then RAG and this retrieval augmented generation is the technique to use, and this is the base of NucleDB.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ramon. I'm old too. Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
ArcGIS?
Ask Jeeves was a search engine.
No.
I think it might have been even, does anybody else remember Ask Jeeves? Yeah, late 90s, and it was trying to solve this same problem. And this technology was not around. But Ask Jeeves, I think, was suffering from the same thing that you were, which we were retraining the user on how to search. And how much pushback, I mean, if I go to my customer and say, no, 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 you're searching wrong. Let me teach you how to search. How much pushback do you get from the old keyword folks? And how do you approach that?
I really think that before November last year, it was a nightmare. Since November last year, everybody understands what I'm saying to them because everybody knows ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, the concept of ChatGPT, people using it, just changed my business 100% because now everybody understands what I'm doing. No, before nobody was understanding.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah. So I really appreciate because you would see in the business side, no, we were getting some sign-ups every week. Now we are getting hundreds of sign-ups every week or thousands of sign-ups every week since the day that ChatGPT appeared, or a couple of weeks more. So that definitely was a. You need that these things happen in the global mindset to be able to explain these changes of attitude.
So to just follow up, you could say, don't worry, because the world is changing
Yeah.
to suit you.
Well, it's you can still be on the alt search, and it's been working forever. So there is no as I said to Guido, no. What's important is what experience do you want to deliver to the client, no? If you want to deliver to search the web page that yours, and they want to search by title, it's okay, no problem. But it depends. That's why our buyer persona, at least in Nuclei, it's more people who are product owners or people who are pushing for having this experience on their products or in their websites or wherever.
So if I have multilingual content, can I ask a question in another language that doesn't have a translation?
Yeah. And you get the answer in the original language that you queried. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ramon. Okay, now lunchtime until 2:30 p.m., okay? In the hallway.